Hello and welcome to All My Art and Soul. I'd like to wish everyone who's watching happy holidays, Merry Christmas, and a safe, healthy, and happy New Year. This page, when I look at it, is very celebratory, and as I've titled it, it is a little different. As you can see, I've started the page with a very bright layer of blue polka dots, pink tissue paper, and layered over with a zigzag Hansa yellow light by Golden, mixed with a little white just so it's, because it's pretty powerful. And then that's manganese blue at the top, and just trying to get those sections and just starting again with whatever I intuitively feel. So again, I'm trying to feel stuff, feel what to do next. So my initial intention was to have like a blue with a simple palette of maybe a hero color or something. But as you can see, I don't know, it was just inspired from what I was doing with the kids in class, with our magical Christmas trees, and this sort of, carried through in my mind. Who knows? But I really like how it turned out. So please watch this video to the end. And if you haven't already, like and subscribe to the channel, and you can watch me create many, many different abstract art journal pages. There's much more with a little different twist, more of a tutorial twist coming up in 2022. So I'm really looking forward to that. So as I found this darker blue piece of collage down below, I always like to give it weight. I just made it central, was going to leave the polka dots behind it, around it in the light value, but I just didn't like how it felt. So I'm going over this whole piece with some more manganese, but a lot stronger. As you can see me planning my next moves. And this one was a little trickier because I started the first layer so differently. But I believe the more we do that, of course, the more experiences we'll have, and we'll be able to discern what works, what doesn't work. So this did not work. So I don't know, I was trying to calm down the pink, and the yellow, but it was really working. So I just took my damp J cloth and rubbed some of it out. You can see I left some of it there. And then the upper ones are stronger, meaning they're pure hue. I left them alone. So that turns out really nicely in the end. So I keep bringing in this big piece of orange just because in my mind I'm really loving how pink and orange go together with abstract. And as I'm slicing it down, I'm thinking of scale. I don't end up using that, as I recall. And I'm just trying to plan what can go over this layer, push it back without covering it entirely. I still want to maintain this really bright, vibrant feeling from this central layer. So the page is in thirds, and in this video you'll see me just place a whole myriad of things down. There I go again. I'm liking how the orange feels with the pink, but not this particular piece. And if you look closely at this collage paper, it was made on my jelly plate and then stenciled with sort of a gold, a metallic, very similar value to it. So then I realized, okay, well, let's use some stencil And I'm glad it mixed with the blue. That wasn't intentional. And it made an interesting sort of a patina color. And around the hexagons, you can still see the vibrant pink behind it. So I like it. So if something's working, do more of it. And as I go for more of the neutral, I realize that I really like the blue better. So I just add a variety going right across that central part, matching the hexagons that I previously laid down so the stenciling can continue nicely and smoothly with some nice crisp edges. And I know it's so funny how some of you have mentioned, "Oh, I wouldn't do that," or "I wouldn't do that," or "I do this instead." Isn't it so amazing how each of us would make different choices, and that's our authentic voice coming through. So good for you to please leave a comment as well. I love reading. I read all my comments. I comment on all my comments, and so just drying that a little with my, making sure it's not going to smudge or anything. It maintains its nice crisp shapes. So then I know I want something below those pink triangles. I'm liking the pink. So this piece here, which I love, I have to make more of these. And I love watching my videos because then I make a note of what I want to do next or maintain a piece of that collage paper for the next page. So the scale here isn't working. I need a wider piece, or at least I think I do. And I like how those are vertical and not horizontal. And they're going to go right in there somewhere. And I like to measure it off and use my X-Acto knife. And then I'm just using the glue stick for now until you'll watch me coat the whole page with the heavy gloss gel. And I just really like the look of that. Sometimes a piece just needs to have the pieces laying there more like just left alone. It's just all a feel. Excuse me. So trimming off that extra edge, really liking that pink. Now there's more. So there's pink underneath those hexagons. There's pink above in a different way. There's pink triangles, really getting that pink across. And as you see that works. So why that works is it's a little wider and the edge isn't straight, it's torn. But I don't know, I don't remember. See, I would have loved that. Shoulda, coulda, woulda. Always great with hindsight, but make a note of that for the next time. So I'm liking the dark blue at the bottom, the pink in the middle, and the lighter blue. But and those blue polka dots. But I'm needing more uniformity, something else. So pushing back that dark blue layer a little bit with this nice, very thin. This collage is made, I think this one, yep, no, that's just made with my brayer, going across some parchment paper or tracing paper. That's parchment, and I've said this before, it has some waxiness to it. So, but so far the acrylic hasn't come off or anything when I've added. Now you'll see these squares, I start to put them in, and then I put them to the side. But wait till the end, because that's where the surprise is. And now, since there's so much color, it's really craving, it's speaking to me that needs some black and white, but just some little pieces. And I'm really loving those. I wish I did put it right there, but I don't know, for some reason I didn't. So I trim it down. It would work both above or below. And it just takes away, it's more asymmetrical, but it's balancing off that larger triangular form or polygon in that upper right hand area. So I thought, okay, I know the blue up above, it's lighter because I'm wanting to always to move the eye up. Just wasn't working, so I thought, okay, well I'm liking my hexagon, so let's just put a couple of rows up there, just a little bit, and they end up getting pushed back a little bit more anyway in the end. So stay to the end, and you'll see. And of course, you could jump and skip to the end, but whatever. And don't forget to leave a comment as to what you liked about this video, even what you didn't like about the video, what you might have done instead. Or ask me, why did I do this? Well, I'm doing my best to try to explain my thinking process as we go. So that piece of paper is what is that stuff? That's that handcrafted rice paper, different rice papers that you can get with different textures. And once you add the high gloss to it, it's very transparent, but it's also very it absorbs a lot and has a rough texture in the end. So it's a different feel. This stuff, which I end up, no, I don't need that, was just a skin, put on a layer of clear gel medium, and then with a tube just sort of laid the blue and the sort of off-white marks and just let dry, and then you peel it off. I use the page protectors for that. So what's next? There I go again. See, it just fits perfectly in there. Come on, put it in there. This is so weird. So then I'm thinking about, yes, other shapes, contrast, numbers, but of course that piece just was way too busy and didn't work. So what caught my eye were these circles and dots on this piece of deli wrap collage paper, deli wrap paper, and I love it for its transparency. And I'm noticing the 3 with those open circles looks really nice. So I first try a strip of that, which of course doesn't work. So what am I doing? It's the other piece that works better. And I finally noticed that, because don't forget, you're in the zone, you're just reacting. Sometimes it takes long. It's easy now in hindsight. I'm loving this green. As you can see, the hexagons below, but it's just way too much contrast. I don't know. I was just enjoying these bright colors, which I haven't worked with, I don't think, ever. I think this is the first time. I know I did a purple one in a cruciform with circles going across. And I guess I decide to put a little strip of that in there, which really livens up the color contrast. And this is a very daring move for me. And let's see what I end up doing with it. I know it's a little overwhelming at first, but I end up pushing it back a little bit. And I'm liking how it's adding to that green. I never use green, any green tone, only if I'm using blue and adding a little yellow. That's how I'll enter the green hues. But that piece of rice paper has a green tinge to it too, but it's more of a neutral. So that's why I stuck that in, and to push that brightness back. And here comes another black and white piece. Then I end up just moving it a bit, because I like how it's overlapping the 2 sections and the dots and showing off its transparency. And this is another piece of that green or that neutral rice paper. So trying to balance off moving away from the cruciform and trying to be more asymmetrical. So then I'm deciding to add, now what tone was this? This might have been a little bit of Payne's Gray. And of course, by Golden, there's the Payne's Gray Fluid, the Payne's Gray, the thick paint. And I'm liking that now because it's closer to the bottom piece, which really was a mixture of black and manganese, and, which when you end up mixing them can be very similar to Payne's Gray. So then I decided to make that slightly more heavy, and I'm liking the weight down at the bottom. It's making the blue polka dotted area really jump out. And now, since that central green area is just asking for something else, there's some more of those Japanese papers, or you call them rice papers. You can buy them in mixed packs. They're really, really nice, but they don't always have them. So I've got to head on down to my art store to get some more. So I thought, okay, I think white or this neutral Titan buff would have worked. I'm thinking the Titan buff is better because it wouldn't have been so contrasting. And just pushing back that pink central area a little bit more, and of course adding more of my circles, but not going across this time, just random. I really like that pattern, and overlapping. So it's transitioning from one section to the next. Nice. Okay, what to do next? You've seen me, that piece has been floating around. I don't know what it is. I think I'll probably end up using it in thin strips. The big square of stripes, I don't know, just for the pieces I've done. Who knows, it might end up working. That paper is the same, handmade paper. It is the most beautiful midnight blue, I call it. And of course, it was just too dark. It's just too much going on for this piece. Right now, I'm focusing on that central area, trying to figure out what would work. This was tricky. I end up finding, okay, so I'm, again, a mixture of a turquoise or teal from Golden, along with a manganese, rolled on my jelly plate, and then just pressed directly on newsprint paper. That's really nice. Of course, it takes away from the hexagons up in the sky, and I think it's too heavy. It weights it down. So I'm glad I didn't use that, even though the color really worked. And then there I am, just cleaning up the edge a bit. Okay, so right now I'm searching in that big pile of scraps. Here's a piece. So I finally found that orange that I was looking for, that needed to be in this because I'm really loving orange and pink. So I found one that I just rolled with leftover paints from a palette onto whatever scraps I had. This is a heavier piece, and I just decided to just put it right there. And I know that's what I usually do, but I like that. There's a lot of meaning. And the pink is working, but it needs to go up higher, so it's lifting the eye higher. And you'll see I add a couple more things up in that area so the eye doesn't go totally off the page. And there's that. I'm really liking when I put it up there, but I never ended up doing that. Very interesting. So I'm searching around. I think I end up, there's those 3 dots, finally. So I decided they look best down near. So I'm moving it around. And I do end up putting it over top of the green, higher up. That's where it needed to go. So I don't know why I'm still down in that area when it already has a piece down there. There's that handmade paper. That's nice, but it needs to go right down and even a little lower. That's really works right there. And what you might want to do is, if you know you have some pieces selected, put 2 or 3 pieces on your page and see how they relate together before you, obviously decide to glue them down. And sometimes it's just easy to make your decisions that way. So more circles. It didn't really need anything up there. It needs it right above the green. So what I do is I end up putting the 3 black dots down and trying to overlap a little bit of the edges, because then it brings out the transparency of that layer. And I do believe, now those rub off a little bit with the medium, so they might be ink, or I just made drops of ink. I'm not sure. That sometimes happens, unless you write on the back of them what the medium was that you used. So this is another reason why it's good to keep lots of notes for future references, especially for things that work really well. So I finally whittled that piece down small enough just to push that pink, and you can see that it's also another transparent layer. And I know I want a circle in there, but I end up seeing where it needs to go. So I trim it in half. Nope, not there, right there, right above the green. So there's a sort of alignment going on. And it's great because there's not a half circle yet in the piece, so it's a good difference. Looking for one more little piece on the bottom, but only subtle. So when you're working subtle in your areas, you can do a fair amount or just a little bit, because you're not really changing what's going on in there. You're not adding a real high contrast to totally change your piece. And that's, of course, the small conversation. So the big conversation is the hero piece at the top with the pink, and there goes those 3 lines of a dark blue in the Posca marker. So that's all I want to do up there. Oh, adding my usual dots. I don't know if we really needed those, but you don't really notice them that much, so it doesn't really change it. So it's not a really big deal. But to remember, or for next time, do I really need this? So then I'm thinking more blue, and no way, that just didn't work at all. But I wanted something heavier just to change up the layering. And in hindsight, of course, I might have even lightened it up a little bit. But then I do it another way by making it a thinner layer with using the brayer over top. So that works. Yeah, I like that. So more of my favorite pink and orange contrast. I'm just bringing the eye through this area. Just some random line. Nothing really. So I'm sort of echoing what's underneath previously. And I don't know why I didn't start this video with the layering of all those markers. They're colored markers, and I just wanted to activate the surface. So, and they're still showing through where those triangles are. You can see some of the blue, some of the pink. And I thought, well, this is a really cool way to activate this surface. And that's what started the bright colors. So it's interesting how you react to one thing, and then the next thing happens. So really liking the energy in this piece. It is so, it's so suited. So now for the big reveal. Still liking this yellow tape. I have yet to try it on just watercolor paper that hasn't been gessoed to see if it sticks less than the green. I'm sure it will. So more to come. And of course, this is an 11 by 14 Canson mixed media pad, and my page is 9 by 12. So I pre-measured that. You can see a little bit of the pencil on the side, but that doesn't matter. And writing the title of this video, something, this time I say something very different, which really is, and I probably will change the title to something very different instead of a little different. So, there's still one more little stage left. It's sort of a surprise. It's unexpected. Right now, I could have left this page the way it is. But of course I didn't. Now for something a little different or very different. Going across, I like it, but I love black and white. So I use squares this time. And some of you might go, oh, you should have stopped. Leave it alone. Well, can't. So I didn't. And of course, I just initially put these on with the glue stick. And I'm not liking that because this is newsprint paper, and everything else is really shiny under there because of the gloss medium. So I want the same surface. So just sticking these down, and of course, I move the two darker ones into a different spot. The darkest one, of course, is central. And of course, I'm leaving them to be horizontal just because of the energy or the feel. And so there's a lot more energy in this page now. So leave a comment. Did you like it without the black and white squares, or do you like it with the black and white squares? I would love to hear your opinion. And I think a video or so ago, I reminded us that this is pure exploration. This is not meant as a finished piece, though some of my designs really lend themselves to, all over print. I just love that idea, and I can't wait to make some more. I think this one would be very bright and colorful. Okay, where's the black Posca? No. Don't overdo it, Michelle. Too many lines. I'm glad I stopped when I did. Just checking over my edges. And going over some of those inks. I wasn't sure if it was going to be sealed. And I hope you enjoyed this page. And I will see you in the next video. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and share. Bye for now.